Hi everybody, it's Emma from Misfit Gardening, and today's video is finally my 5 for 5 tag. I was tagged, a few weeks ago by Purple Sweet Peas channel, and then most recently by Sapper Gardener. And first of all, I'm so sorry that this has taken me so long to do. Purple Sweet Peas channel, I'm really sorry. I've been trying to get into do this for quite a few weeks now, but this is really the first chance that I've had. So first and foremost, sorry about that. So this tag, if you haven't seen it already, there's 5 questions to answer, and then you're supposed to tag 5 other channels to do so. I know this because I'm so behind. Loads of people have gotten in on this tag. So what I'm going to say is, if you haven't yet been tagged and you want to be tagged, go ahead and leave a comment at the bottom of this video, and I'm going to tag the first 5 people who say that they want to get tagged to be able to do this. So that way you guys can join in the fun as well, because sometimes it's hard, especially if you're a new channel, to try and get tagged in anything. So first questions first. Why an allotment or garden? So allotments, if you are based in the US, are like a community garden plot that you have, and they're usually in England. That's what they call them. You don't really have community gardens so much. It's mostly allotments, and typically, you know, they have long waiting lists, and people have been on them for years trying to get one. So I was really lucky, actually. I had an allotment when I was in England, and unfortunately I had to give it up because I emigrated to the US. But now I have a big enough plot of land with my house that I'm actually able to grow quite a lot. Honestly, when I was house hunting with my husband, well, he wasn't my husband then, but when I was house hunting, I was literally looking for something that had a lot of gardens, so I could have the space to be able to grow my own fruit and vegetables and things. But I mean, I love growing stuff, and I've been growing for a very long time, and you know, there's just something so wonderful about getting your hands in the dirt and growing something from such an itty bitty little seed, and it grows into something beautiful. So I've always done it. My grandparents have had allotments and gardens, so I spent a lot of time doing that, and it was just kind of the norm, really. But it's one of the things that I really enjoy, especially after a very stressful week. I love nothing more than getting out into the garden and growing stuff. Alright, question number 2 is why YouTube? My response might be probably a little bit different from what some of the other people who are doing this tag are. So for me, I did a YouTube channel because it's part of my blog, and if you don't know me, or you're new to my channel, I've been blogging for about 3, nearly 4 years over on misfitgardening.com, and it's all about suburban homesteading and gardening. And for me, because I write such lengthy posts, I felt that doing video might be an easier way to be able to connect with more people and show them what I'm doing. When I was younger, I was very lucky that I was taught by my grandparents how to garden and how to do some of this stuff. And I know that not everybody has that opportunity. And the other reason for YouTube, really, for me is, and you know, it's part of the same reason why I blog as well, is, you know, I spend time trying to find out how to do things, and you know, I look on YouTube how to do it, whether it's how to change an oil filter in my car, to, you know, how to use a router, you know, and I wanted to be able to provide that information for other people. I don't have children. I'm not going to have children through various different reasons why that's not going to happen. But my husband's two children are older, they're in the 20s, and you know, one of them has just had a baby, but none of them are really interested in gardening or being self-sufficient and homesteading or anything like that. So I don't really have anybody to pass that information on to within my own family. So to me, YouTube was a way to be able to, you know, pass on the information that I have to be able to help other people. Because, you know, there's lots of different ways to do everything, and, you know, how I grow food is different to how somebody else might grow food. Certainly on my allotment, that was definitely you know, something that I saw, because all the plot holders around me, they all used pesticides and chemical fertilizers, whereas I grew organically, and I grew a lot of polyculture and companion planting in raised beds, and they didn't grow like that at all. So there's lots of different ways to do something, and it's just my way of doing it. Question number 3 is, how long have you been growing? I recently celebrated a birthday, so I'm most definitely 30 something now. And I've probably been growing since I was a toddler, so a long time, a long time. And I've grown in lots of different soil types, lots of different climates. You know, I grew gardens that were just in containers when I lived in New Jersey. We had a bit of a problem with bears where I lived, so and raccoons, so I just would grow things in containers out on the deck and bring those containers inside the house, so I didn't have unwelcome visitors, we'll say, you know, going through them. I've grown on allotments, I've grown in rental properties, you know, I've grown in pretty much anything and everything, I think, at this point. And the garden that I have now is really sandy soil, so now I grow in raised beds rather than direct in the ground on heavy clay. So I've been doing this a long time. Question number 4, what do you grow? There's lots of things that I grow. I try to grow food to be as self-sufficient from the grocery store as possible. There's lots of stuff that I haven't yet grown that I would love to grow. Yacon is one of the things that I'm really excited to grow this year that I've never grown before. But I grow lots of things, from, you know, onions, and these are Asian pears that I'm growing at the moment, to go into the permaculture chicken yard. I've got Brussels, well, these aren't Brussels, sorry, these are broccoli. I've got Brussels sprouts. Yeah, look at them bad boys. I've got leeks, spinach, sweet peas. I've got a lot of flowers this year. I've got squashes and beans and lots of things like that that are kind of in the works, but I'm not going to be sowing them until much later in the season. Tomatoes, huckleberries, black currants, blackberries, brambles, josta berries, raspberries, strawberries, sorrel, filberts, hazelnuts, apples, pears. I've even got some ruby red grapefruit. I've got lots and lots of things that I'm growing, and I love to try new stuff all the time. And I particularly like to grow heirloom varieties because I love the different tastes, textures, colours, and just the sheer variety that you get from growing that. So there's lots of things that I do grow. I'm trying to grow a lot more herbs and flowers this year because if you've not seen some of my previous videos, there's some areas within my property that I am designing from my permaculture design course that I took, and I'm going to be implementing some of those designs within the property. So that's something that's going to help with that. And question number 5 is, what is your favorite thing to grow? And there's lots of things that I really enjoy growing. My favorite veg is probably beans. I love dried beans, soup beans, fresh beans. I don't like canned beans, but I love to grow different varieties of beans, and I think I've got maybe 15 different types of beans. Chris doesn't know, so don't tell him. So I've got lots and lots of different beans. I also really love squash, different varieties of squash. And one thing that we do as a family is we have a pumpkin growing competition between myself, my husband and my stepson who lives with us. And then every year, like, we actually carve our own pumpkins for Halloween. So I enjoy doing that as well. I also really enjoy growing lavender. To me, lavender is one of those beautiful things that takes me back to my childhood, because both of my grandmothers had a lot of lavender growing in their garden, and that just reminds me of all those wonderful places that I used to spend a lot of time when I was young and in the garden. So there's some of the favourite things that I enjoy to grow. So that was my 5 answers to those questions. So if you have not yet been tagged and you want to be tagged, go ahead and leave me a comment at the bottom of this video. Until next time, have a wonderful weekend, guys, and happy growing.